What's going on, FA Nation? Happy Friday and welcome in to the NBA DFS live stream. I am your host, James Grande, joined by Keith Eister. Keith, what's going on, brother? Happy Friday.
What isn't going on, man? Happy Friday. Busy time of the year. We've got crossover. We were breaking down a little baseball, talking your Yanks a little bit. We've got a nice little basketball slate here as well.
Yeah, I did the NBA DFS playbook that you can find on fantasyalarm.com today. Keith did the MLB DFS playbook that you can find on fantasyalarm.com today. Chris Sale making the cover, so make sure you guys go check that out. I heard Chris Sale's pretty good at pitching. That thing that he does, he's been quite good for quite some time. I think 7 games on both, right? 7 games in the baseball streets and 7 games in the NBA streets. So 14 games to break down. I'm just kidding. Just a basketball show today.
Maybe we can take some baseball questions at the end. We'll see if we have time.
Yeah, definitely won't. You're working with me. If you're working with John, you could literally do the whole show. You could do a whole baseball show. Because John will just be like, "All right, Keith, anything else?" And you'd go to talk, and be like, "All right, outfield." It's like, wait, I didn't answer. Yeah, 7 games in the baseball slate. Some of the big news today: Jaylen Brown was downgraded to out. Awful for 2 semifinal seasonal fantasy leagues that I have, Keith. I have Jaylen Brown in both. Now looking good for your boy without JB in each of them. Trey Murphy and DeJounte Murray ruled out. We had the Chet Holmgren out of the clouds downgrade to out as well. Those are the biggest outs. We knew quickly. Jared Allen upgraded to probable. Those were some of the injury designations that we have had happen throughout the day. I see people in the chat. The Prince says, "I'm here on time, but probably going to miss everything." Okay. Let's focus here, DePrince. You got an hour. You got the playbook. The core plays, everything live on site. We're live for the next hour. If you have questions, get them in chat. We'll be happy to answer them. Happy to answer any question you have all the time. You are supporting us each and every day by being a subscriber. We're happy to help. Some guy in the chat always here. Rolly, Keith. This guy. He always comes in and calls us the GOAT. He commented on our show. Right? Comments on our NBA show last night and says, someone in the 40 single, the second place finisher in the 40 single had a Fantasy Alarm logo in their name. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Can you send us the person's alias? He said, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
He said, "Yeah, it was me. I finished second in the, and I think he said fourth in the $12 and like nice. High up finishes and all the single entries." So Rolly comes in here and says we're the GOATs, and yet he's always top 5 in like every NBA contest. So you're really the GOAT, Rolly. We appreciate the kind words, but you are absolutely the GOAT. Michael in here, hey gang, and Alperen Şengün's doppelganger is here. Crab Şengün. Happy Friday to you as well. Let's get this Friday slate kicked off. Before we do, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube for all those watching for the first time. We're going to go position by position. Let's start off at point guard, Keith. We got SGA, aka Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, at the top. Can't do abbreviations anymore, Keith. There's a nickname gate going on in the YouTube streets these days, so no abbreviations allowed. So full names only. And I respect it for all those that, aren't avid NBA watchers and just DFS players. I get it. I do. Not everyone knows every abbreviation or nickname. So we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 10-3, Josh Giddey 95, James Harden 92, Jamal Murray 91. We'll even throw Garland and Thompson 8K and up at point guard. What you like here?
Yeah, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is obviously great. Obviously, you have to be concerned about the spread. I think it was 19 the last time I looked. Yeah. Does he play all 4 quarters is the question. It's a fantastic matchup against Chicago. but he might not be out there the whole time. That obviously limits his upside a little bit. Giddey is on the other side of that game. I think he plays his full allotment, even if the game gets out of hand a little bit. He's a little bit cheaper, has triple-double upside himself, so certainly don't mind that as a pivot. Harden with Allen back is interesting. Up-tempo game there against Miami. And then Murray has some of the same concerns as well. They are also 19-point favorites against the Jazz. So any of the four are great. I don't know that any of the four are immediate priorities for me. But I certainly wouldn't try to talk anyone out of it. Garland's a big favorite as well.
Yep.
Just it's the time of year where you're going to have to deal with some blowouts. I don't mind taking some shots on these guys in tournaments and hoping that the game stays closer than it's projected to, though.
Yeah, before I kind of agree or disagree with you, gotta give a shout out to IC3, who just donated 10 subscriptions to the YouTube the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. You guys just got some new emojis, so spam the emojis. Say thank you to Justin. Justin, we appreciate you tremendously, dude. You absolutely did not have to do that. So if you got a membership, show some love to IC3 in the chat. Absolute legend.
He's got to be well over 100 gifted memberships on the season. I mean, dude. Every show he's 5 or 10 gifts.
Dude, awesome, he's an Oiler. He's a Saudi. He must be like a Saudi prince, you know. He's just dishing out donations everywhere. IC3, we appreciate you so much, dude. Thank you for everything you do, each and every day. I asked John this question about Jokic. Over under 1.5 fourth quarter minutes for Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I mean under. Like it's almost a 20-point spread. It's insane.
Yeah, 19. You shorted the Thunder. They're 19.5-point favorites. You shorted them by half a point. I mean, it is an insane slate. I didn't actually find this tier to be too interesting in the playbook. Like I wrote up Harden because he's shown a 60-point ceiling, and obviously this is like a critical game in terms of like playoff implications and seeding and stuff. Cleveland's still live technically to get the 2 seed. So I think Harden's going to keep playing like a lot of minutes. We've seen 42, 37, 36 minutes out of him the last few games. I think Garland is definitely interesting in tournaments. The Pacers are dead last in defense since the All-Star break, and they're playing fast. So I think Garland does have a ceiling, even though Matherin's back. And I like Amen Thompson. If this game can stay competitive, which, dude, Houston keeps a lot of games close because they're just such a weird team overall. But a lot of these games are close. And we know Amen Thompson plays 40 minutes, so that would probably be the trio I look at. Obviously, no objection to anything here, just nothing of priority for me. And I think that's largely because when we go down the list, there's 3 priorities for me in this next range: Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Andrew Nembhard. I'll even say 4 with Reed Shepherd. I have a lot of interest in all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, those 4 guys are projecting really well for me as well. Obviously, no JB means extra shots for everybody else on Boston. White and Pritchard are 2 likely candidates to pick some of those up. Shepherd's been in the starting lineup playing big minutes. I like that. And Nembhard is the reason that the Pacers would probably keep it close. Obviously, between him and Siakam is their best chance to play with the Clippers here. So certainly don't mind that. The Boston guys in particular for me, though.
Yeah, I am very bullish on like everything Boston related, especially right now how it stands. Derek White. When you look at, I'm pulling up the data I have in the playbook. And I removed Brown, Simons because he was traded, and Vucevic. 30.5% usage. He has the biggest usage bump on the team, almost 8%. 1.1 fantasy points per minute. And I do think like there's something to be said about the way Tatum has played. And like he has been okay. And the usage and everything looks good, but like still just 1.1 fantasy points per minute without JB, and Derek White's ahead of him. So I'd rather take the savings on Derek White or Peyton Pritchard, truthfully, tonight. I love Nembhard. I'm not gonna lie. I love Indiana. I've never been scareder. I'm going into a slate loving Indiana in the year 2026 when they're 1-17 their last 18 games. And they came back healthy and now they're just playing them. So Andrew Nembhard's a 7K player if he's priced in but because the minutes have been fluctuating until recently, his price is way, way down from where it should be. So I love Nembhard too.
Yeah, if he's going to continue to play mid-30s minutes, he's definitely too cheap.
What about the tier after? We do have 3 Utah guys in a row. They're a little healthier than they've been recently. Bryce Sensabaugh is back. Kyle Filipowski is back. We have Harkless, Chandler, Bang here, all 3 of them. Any of them interesting at all?
Interesting, but risky, I would say. That's a rotation that could flip on its head at any moment. I would feel more comfortable with starters. Bang's been starting. Depending on who starts between Harkless and Chandler, I'd probably have interest there. But again, there's plenty of risk there.
I think Chandler's I only wrote Chandler up from Utah today. That was the only guy I even. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard situation to read. Bang played 45 minutes again the other day, twice in 3 games. So it's just we don't know what the starting lineup's gonna be, and we're gonna find out at 8:58, 2 minutes before that game locks. So
they have been releasing it really late, and it's changing every time as well. I think Conchar started last game.
Dude, they started Ace Bailey at center, and it was post. It was post lock. It was after lock. Shibwe wasn't starting, which is hilarious, but it's not. It's not hilarious. I shouldn't say it's hilarious. It's not. What about under 5K? We have Jamal Shed 48. We have AJ Mitchell now with Chet Holmgren 45. Jeremiah Fears looks super good. We have Clayton, McConnell. Anything really pique your interest under 5K?
Yeah, a couple of those names that you listed there certainly do. Shed should draw the start here. Fears should play a lot more with Murray out. Both of those guys look great. AJ Mitchell, I think, is a guy that's interesting. We talk about the spread there. Maybe he gets a little more run than the other regulars in a blowout. We know that he's a usage guy, can fill it up. Awesome matchup there for him against Chicago.
Shingun, who are we talking about? Not on FanDuel. Are you talking about Bang is there? Chandler's there. Let us know who you're talking about. Not sure who's not on FanDuel. I'd love to have the answer for that one. Yeah, Fears is my guy here for sure. I think they actually give him a start. That would be my guess. I know they hadn't been doing that recently, but my guess would be without both Murphy and DeJounte that we see Jeremiah Fears enter the starting lineup.
Yep, I'm with you.
I just small hat tip to McConnell as well. Guy's been on a crazy heater fantasy wise. He is so good. He is so good per minute.
Yes.
Dude, he's so good per minute. You hope you get this one. You hope you get the 20.
Yeah.
But even if you get the floor, he could still reward you, right? So always an option. This is an interesting one, and it's a point guard question. So we'll go to this. What do you think of Jordan Poole? What do you think of Jordan Poole? We'll keep it there.
Yeah, I mean, there's risk that he DNPs, but I think that he could also play he's seen 18 minutes off the bench basically in this situation before. At 3,300, I mean, I know he hasn't been great even when he's gotten a little opportunity here recently, but there's a long history here of him being a very good offensive player, and offense leads to fantasy points. So I don't hate it.
I am interested here because they played Jordan Hawkins yesterday, and they gave Jordan Hawkins 20 minutes, and he was the first sub off the bench. That does not make me feel better about Jordan Poole's chances. And even when you look at the blowout, Micah Peavy played and Jordan Poole played 0 minutes.
That is certainly in the range of outcomes.
It I Keith said it, like, you have to be ready for super sadness by the if Jordan Poole hasn't checked in by the middle of the second quarter, because he's
Yes.
just not. If he's not, he's just not playing at that point. So I mean that's it's a total risk that I'm not. I'm probably not willing to take because I think there's enough value without him. But I get it. He has a very high scoring ceiling if he's in the rotation. But seeing Hawkins play 20 minutes yesterday does not make me feel any better. I know DeJounte played yesterday, but they could just give Jeremiah Fears a lot more run today. Let's go to shooting guard. This is a funny one. Greater chance to play Kevin Love or Jordan Poole?
Good question. I think they're both 50-50-ish. I think Poole has a better chance to play just because.
I also agree.
Seems like the Pelicans are losing players. The Jazz are getting players back. So
Yeah.
I'll go Poole there.
Yeah, they didn't play Kevin Love when they had 8 the other
Right.
day. They just played with 7. Or it was 9 and they just only played with 8. So yeah, let's shooting guard. We got Kawhi here, shooting guard, small forward eligibility. Donnie Mitch 93, Ingram 78. We have Hero, Matherin, Daniels, NEW. Is there anything $7,000 and up that you would have interest in?
Minimal interest, no primary targets here for me. Kawhi is obviously, you play him for a ceiling, elite matchup against Indiana. You talked about their struggles on defense recently. Donnie in the Mitchell in the up-tempo environment can certainly put a bunch of points in the bucket. So I would look at the top 2 for the ceiling would be my favorite.
I'll throw Ingram in there. That would be the only guy from this range I have interest in. I really like the price coming down. It's even cheaper on FanDuel. I think he's 7,200 over on FanDuel. No Emmanuel Quickly. And, they've been involved in some blowouts lately. I'd be perfectly fine. They need to get out of the play-in, right? They need to get into the playoffs. Every game from here on out is super critical. I think we could see Ingram play 40 minutes here. Yeah, I have some interest under 8K without Quickly. That would be the only thing I add there. What about below 7K? Sensabaugh, you never know when. It's impossible. Utah is just a nightmare. We have McCollum here, Cody Williams 66, Norm Powell 65. We talked Pritchard and Shepard looks really good. Is anything in that range at all appealing, and if you want, you could say no?
Not particularly. I mean, we talked about Pritchard and Shepard, and those are the 2 that I would prioritize in this range, and that makes the guys just above them not hardly even in my pool, if at all.
All right. What about I even think the tier below them is virtually unplayable. I don't really like anything there either. Jones, Harkless, Brown, Bang, Miller, Dunn, Small, nothing to me stands out there.
Yeah, I agree. Down to if Small is starting, you feel okay about his role, I suppose. The Rockets have also been a defense that has struggled since the All-Star break, so I think it's a better matchup than maybe people realize. But Small in the starting lineup would be mildly interesting.
Mildly interesting indeed. All right, then I know there's value at this position, so let's talk about it. We can play Fears here. Currently, Jeremiah Fears is the highest rostered player on the slate, which makes total sense because he's 4,300 and is a high usage player. So you can play him here. We have Cedric Coward at 49. We have Sam Merrill 47. Max Strus is back. Fears. Cam Spencer, shooting guard, small forward, eligible. He is $4,200. There is Baylor Shireman, $3,400. He is getting a lot of ownership. Do any of those players pique your interest?
A guy like Shireman who's getting ownership is pretty uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because he's not the best guy per minute. He's probably going to play more minutes than he's been getting, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to just go nuts. Certainly because of that extra opportunity, you understand why the ownership is going there.
Yes.
Memphis is mildly interesting to me. Spencer's another guy whose minutes have kind of been all over the place. Giroux is there as well. Like,
Yep.
It's another rotation on a bad team that's hard to figure out, and they're just kind of throwing some stuff at the wall. So it can pay off if you're willing to take some gambles there, but it's really hard to nail down the rotation.
I feel like they have been at least a little better, like with their two-way, like ruling their two-way guys out, like almost every game. Like
Yeah, they usually have like 10 active and those 10 play. Like
yeah,
20 to 25 minutes is
yeah.
kind of how they've been running it.
And we've actually gotten like Gigi and Javon Small both have played 30 minutes in back-to-back games. Cam Spencer played 30 last game. They've actually been, I feel like, a little more willing to extend some guys, which is great because one of the 10 has been Taj Gibson as well. Like they can't really extend Taj Gibson at this point. So definitely a good shout on Memphis. Definitely a situation to monitor the injury report. Let's see if we got anything on the injury report. They've usually been telling us before the game, like so-and-so will be like Mashik is already listed doubtful because he is hurt. No other two-way guys are listed, so I'm interested what they do with Repair tonight. That would be the other two-way guy that they have. They've been making him in. He only has a couple games left to play, so
yep.
I assume while they have like Giroux and Burton on 10 days that they'll make Repair inactive more often than not, and then probably have Repair play out the final few games of the year. And I agree. So Memphis is a situation to monitor. I wrote Spencer up in the playbook today at 42. He hasn't made a shot in 2 games, which not exactly great thing, but 30 minutes. If he's playing 30 minutes at 4,200, I have interest for sure. Small forward. Were you going to say something else, Keith? Sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
I was just agreeing.
Okay. Small forward. Sometimes I just talk too much. So if I ever need to just shut me up, just let me know. I'm going too fast. Okay. I like Ugo to start. Boston is weird. Either way, things like this, question mark, thoughts.
I mean, he could start, but that doesn't mean he's going to play more than 20 minutes. Like, that's the problem here. I suppose if he starts, it raises his ceiling, but there's still plenty of risk there.
We've done this. We've done this all year, and you are correct, Stan. Like, they are tricky, they are annoying. There's not a lot of things you can trust on a slate to slate basis. Pritchard, White, Tatum. I have one more name that I'll throw out there in a little bit that I am very high on tonight for Boston, and Shireman probably is in the circle of trust, but that circle of trust could end at any time. So if Ugo starts, sure. They could start Ugo, they could start Walsh, they could start Harper. We've seen it all, right? They could just bring Pritchard back into the start. I mean, there's so many different directions they could go. We'll find out. If Ugo starts, he's fine. Small forward, we talked Kawhi a little bit. We have the ever so steady pair of hands, Kevin Durant at $9K, Ace Bailey, $8,000, RJ Barrett, $75, Jalen Williams at $75, Matherin $74, Buzelis $72, Dyson Daniels $72. What say you about the top of small forward?
Durant is fine, very much like Kawhi. Like, certainly no one would be surprised with a ceiling performance.
Right.
Obviously, blowout concerns like a lot of the guys have on this slate.
Yep.
RJ Barrett is the one that jumps out in the range for sure.
Yep.
With no Quickly, great matchup against the Pelicans as well. That improved defense is largely because of DeJounte Murray, who's out tonight. Without DeJounte Murray, they were one of the worst defenses in all of basketball. So great matchup for RJ. Not a ton of interest in the other guys. J-Dub not playing enough minutes. Jalen Williams there. Matherin's price is kind of tough. There's still a little ceiling there, but just a tough price. For me, you can talk revenge narrative if you want to there. Buzelis with the really tough matchup against the Thunder, but he can find a ceiling too. But no real interest in those 3.
No real interest, I agree. What about Sadiq when we drop below 7K? No DeJounte, no Trey Murphy. Thoughts on Sadiq Bey? I mean, he's been rock solid all year.
Absolutely. And he's had serious ceilings when
Yes, it's
there's
crazy.
guys out. Without Murphy, we've seen him put up 50 fantasy points before. So now you take Murray off as well. Definitely interested in Sadiq.
He's getting no ownership.
Yeah.
None.
Awesome tournament play.
3% right now. I get like, I guess I can see like it's probably a price thing, but you're taking the highest usage player on their team in Murray off the floor, and you're taking the third highest usage player in Trey Murphy off the floor. Like what? I don't know. Maybe or we're missing something. We're either missing something or Sadiq Bey's going to go crazy, and we're on the right side of things. So
Yeah, he's a guy that I'll be significantly over the field on.
yeah, 3% is kind of crazy. What about the rest of this range? Another range I just haven't found myself getting to. Honestly, like literally not a position. Not a position. This is probably the worst position on the board. I think that goes without saying that Sam Hauser is your highest rostered small forward of the day. I don't know if I've played Sam Hauser once this year. I don't know if I've literally clicked him. You have had a much more likely scenario of playing Sam Hauser because you play 40 lineups a day. I don't think in my single entry life this year I've played one lineup of Sam Hauser.
Yeah, and I don't blame you, especially when he's getting ownership. We talked about it with Shireman. Like he probably plays 30 minutes tonight, but that doesn't mean that he scores 20 fantasy points, and that's a problem. I think he's going to be overowned. The field's getting there with his additional opportunity, and I think there are ways to pivot around him for sure.
What else? Give me something else at small forward that interests you at all.
Yeah, it's a tough position. Herb Jones would be a guy that I don't mind. He's going to play a bunch of minutes at a fair price tag. Can do a little bit of everything. Maybe handles the ball a little bit more without DeJounte and Trey Murphy there. Let's see here.
We just had TC in the chat bring up Leonard Miller. I don't hate it from a game theory perspective, and we don't even know who the Bulls are even. We don't know who's going to be available tonight. And I know Okoro's probable, but they might not have. Lockie Ulbrich might be their only center tonight, Keith. That might be what our Bulls are doing at center tonight. So we could see in a blowout Leonard Miller play mid to high 20s minutes.
Yeah, I like that shout quite a bit. I think there's a good possibility of him seeing a little extra time.
To John Conchar or not to John Conchar?
Yeah, that's probably no thanks for me. I think I'd rather, if I'm hoping a guy goes off, like Jacoby Walter's a name that I might look at, just because quickly Shed presumably covers most of the minutes, but Walter could see a little extra run as well.
Like John Conchar, we looked it up last night, has a 9% usage rate since joining the Utah Jazz. And like, I'm not saying you have to be a big time usage player to like be good in fantasy, but it can't be 9%.
Yeah, that's
to be
tough.
A consistent fantasy scorer, right? Like plus Filipowski's back, Sensabaugh's back. Like if he plays 23 minutes, there's no like I'll take my chances fading him again.
To be fair, he was under 12% last game and put up 40 fantasy points. He also played 38 minutes, which he's probably not likely to do. Unless if he starts again, maybe I could be talked into it. But yeah, I'm with you. Like usage is one of the primary things I look at, and he is not that type of player at all. He does rebound. He picks up some stocks, so he has other paths to get there. But yeah, not a guy I like to play.
All right, let's go to power forward. Stan says Tim Hardaway, fully healthy Nuggets team. Any thoughts on Tim Hardaway tonight?
Probably not for me. What's his minutes been looking like? Yeah, he's playing mid-20s still, but just like you said, they're just getting healthier with Gordon and Cameron Johnson back. There's just not as much available for Hardaway.
And Peyton Watson too.
Yep.
Peyton Watson back too. It's just I don't think we need to do it. Good spot. I don't think we need to do it. Power forward is going to be very fascinating tonight. Let me click over its ownership because no one's playing Jalen Johnson. Second game back from his shoulder injury, where clearly he was limited. 42 minutes, 27, 12, and 8. Tatum at 9K, Scotty Barnes 89, Mobley 89, Ace Bailey 8K, Siakam 79. Jason Tatum is currently the highest rostered power forward of the day. He is over 20% on DraftKings right now. He is $9,000. How likely to be with or over the field at like 25% of Jason Tatum are you going to be?
I'm not going to try to be over the field. I know he played mid-30s last game. I don't know that they continue to push him to that level. I think like 32 is more likely than 35. He's kind of priced. That's kind of priced in, so I certainly understand it. But not a guy I want to take a huge stand on. I get the ownership. I think it's about right, and it's probably where I'll land as well, as in that 25-30% range.
Okay. Yeah, without JB this year, 35.7% usage, but it's 60 minutes, right? 64-minute sample, 1.1 fantasy points per minute, 36 essentially percent usage rate. Good. I'd want the fantasy points per minute to be a little higher than 1.1 for a 9K player. But that's like not going to play 40 minutes, right? He's going to play, like you said, low to mid 30s. So,
yeah, I mean, that OKC game was ultra competitive. Obviously, like the best team in the NBA they're facing, obviously they wanted to get that W, so they extended him a little bit. I don't think that they're going to do that going forward is my concern. And at 32 minutes, the 9K price tag is more appropriate than he is a bargain at this point.
I would typically agree here, but I just never thought in a million years 27 was going to be like his first game back, and we've gotten here like really fast. And Boston obviously still has a chance at the 1 seed. If, things go terribly wrong for Detroit, they're still fighting for the 2 seed with the Knicks. I kind of think that with how important these games are, if Tatum is good to play 35 minutes, he's going to play 35 minutes. I don't know if they ramp him to 40 at this point, but I'm not necessarily worried about him going like too far backwards, like to low 30s, because Atlanta also is the 5 seed. They've won like, I don't know, 14 of their last 15 games or whatever it is overall, after they had that win streak where they didn't move, and then they started another win streak and they've actually moved. So I'm probably with you, like in terms of ownership. I would push back a little bit on like the minutes. I do think the minutes are going to be a little like fine, like 34, 35. But like, if you don't want to play Tatum, Scotty Barnes is $8,900 without Emmanuel Quickly, and Pascal Siakam still, spent all year as a high 8s player and is now playing mid 30s minutes. And Zion at 74 is playing without his other 2 best players. Like, are those viable pivots away from Tatum, Barnes, Siakam, Zion?
Absolutely. That's exactly why I don't want to try to get 50% Jason Tatum, is because I want to be well over the field on Scotty Barnes and Zion Williams in particular. I don't mind the Siakam shout out either, but Zion and Scotty particularly, missing high usage teammates with very fair price tags, even for fully healthy teams. Now that you take a high usage teammate off from each of them, I think they're both significantly underpriced.
Do you have a preference? Is it just Zion because the savings, or is it Scotty because the matchup? Like, which side do you favor?
I'm going to actually lean slightly to Scotty there. The matchup against New Orleans, we talked about, they're missing 2 perimeter defenders that have led to this kind of surge in the second half. It's an elite matchup for Scotty. No Quickly means he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I think the ceiling's insane here for Scotty.
I like the shout. Did you guys skip Struess? What are your thoughts on Max Struess? 26 minutes last game for Struess.
Yeah, nice to see the small bump in minutes. Not a guy that I play a ton of typically. Now you're getting Jared Allen back as well.
Yeah. No Tyson, no Wade. So that's something.
Yeah, but I still don't think that means 30 minutes for him.
Yeah,
Probably going to
probably not.
stick in that mid 20s minutes range. Merrill's going to get extended a little probably. Um, I don't know, lot of mouths to feed there.
A lot of mouths to feed, indeed. Under $7,000 we go. What is the first name that piques your interest? We already talked about Sadiq Bey.
Yes. Don't think I need to play Aaron Gordon yet. Obviously, it's an awesome matchup, but just not getting full run quite yet. Jabari Smith Jr. is playing a ton. Great matchup for him. Memphis has been getting owned by big men,
Oh, no.
so I certainly don't mind that. GG Jackson is slightly interested. We've mentioned a couple Memphis players already. Going even further down, Taylor Hendricks is a guy that I always mention on these shows just for his ceiling. Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of the pivots I'm looking at.
Yeah, Gregory, I think you meant. Gregory Jackson is definitely the guy I was thinking. Like, if he's going to play, I'm not guaranteeing 30 minutes, but if there's an opportunity for him to play 30 minutes, with all the guys they're missing and traded, he has a 30% usage rate this year. Like, that is a big, big number. So if you get a guy at 5,400 with a 30% usage rate that could play 30 minutes, I just have there's interest there. Well over a fantasy point per minute in that instance as well. You also had talked Hendricks, always been playing tournaments for sure. And then who is the third player you had mentioned? Hendricks, GG. Was there a third player?
Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not a Jabari guy. I'm not typically a Jabari guy. He does play a ton of minutes.
Plays a ton of minutes, and just the matchup, I think, gives him. I'm typically not a guy that plays a ton of them either, but because of the matchup here, I think he could find 40 fantasy points in the spot.
I have a couple names down here that I want to get your take on. Derek Queen is a little bit interesting. I know he played in the blowout last night, but they did start DeAndre Jordan last night. I don't know if they'll do that on a back-to-back. And they're down 2 starters. I don't know if they'd look for an influx of offense, but obviously Derek Queen is a super high fantasy point per minute player. And Obi Toppin at 3,400's price is like kind of crazy. For another guy who has like insane fantasy point ceiling at like the minutes that he plays. What are your thoughts on that? Like Queen, like let me just get this out there. I'd rather play both those players than play Sam Hauser, who's 20x their ownership.
Yeah, I actually like those as pivots. It's Queen more than Toppin for me, just because I think there's more upside for Queen. I mean, we've seen him triple double at times. I don't think that's in Toppin's range of outcomes. I also think that Queen has like there's a scenario where he plays mid 20s minutes and Toppin's just not going to do that. So Queen, I think, has the more upside between the two of them.
Yeah, all they got to do is cut DeAndre Jordan out of the rotation, which is possible, and then limit either Misi or Makovich, and that is like very live to happen. They do that like nightly. You never know. I do have interest in Toppin though. I think you look at I have the numbers here. If you look at some of the stuff without Zubats and Ben Matherin, who they obviously traded and are playing this evening, 26.6% usage, and he's 1.2 fantasy points per minute at $3,400 power forward center. I fully understand the concerns because the minutes are what they are, but he's $3,400 multi-position eligible at 1.2 fantasy points per minute. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly take what he gave you last game, and
Yes.
he's been really good. So I don't hate it. I just like It's the minutes for me.
It's the minutes for sure.
But if you gave me 26 fantasy points at 3,400, I would be very happy.
Yeah, you're very live to win a tournament.
Yeah.
At that number. Center, we'll wrap this thing up. If you guys have any questions, please get them in chat. We have a question here from D Mills 24. The real Davis Mills, quarterback of, is it still Houston? Houston, does he still play for the Texans? Is that?
I think so. But...
Okay. Well, he did. Last I knew of Davis Mills, he was playing for the Texans. He wants to know our thoughts on Big J, Jalen Williams, now that Chet Holmgren is ruled out.
Yeah, he could get a little extension in the blowout as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Not a guy that was on my radar, but I understand why the question's being asked.
Understand why the question's being asked, for sure.
Yep.
Very, 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 very good fantasy player.
Yep.
Just hard. He's 4,600. He's not free, right? I would say his ownership will drastically change if we get the Noti and he's starting. I'd say
Definitely,
that.
yeah.
If we get the starting Noti, then he's gonna be very popular. We'll go back up to the top. Actually, we won't. We'll answer Milkman's question first. Yes, we love Zion.
Yep.
Yes, love Zion. Okay. This is the question of the day, right? And it's a question of every slate because, if you didn't play Nikola Jokic last slate, you lost. You just didn't. You did not make money. You didn't win tournaments, right? It just is what it is. This game is a 19-point spread. Denver at home against one of the worst teams in the NBA. I'll ask you, like I asked for Jamal Murray, I actually think Murray is more likely to play in the fourth quarter than Jokic because the way that their rotations are. Over 1.5 minutes in the fourth quarter for Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, I'm under there, but
okay.
Over 0.5 triple doubles.
Okay, but he's 12-5, right? So you need 70 minimum the Phoenix game to win a tournament tonight with Jokic at 12-5, probably, right? Yeah. 73 fantasy points.
If he goes 20, 10, and 10, he doesn't get there.
So he's 30. He's currently the highest roster center of the day. He's the third highest rostered player of the day. It is a incredibly tough thing to do to fade him against one of the worst teams we're going to watch play basketball. But would you fade him knowing that there may not be a fourth quarter and just hoping I'll ask you, the large field player, and you, the one lineup. We'll just answer both. What is your approach? 30% Jokic in large field. What is your approach in single entry stuff?
It's a much easier question to answer in large field multi-entry because I can play my 30%, match the field, and not take a stand on him. And if he smashes, I still have 30% of my lineups that are live. Right. Same as I'm going to do with Jason Tatum. Is there a path where he absolutely smashes tonight? Absolutely. Am I trying to get overweight that ownership and get leverage on the field by playing him? No. I think going overweight on players like Scotty Barnes or Zion Williamson that we just talked about is my preferred path today. In single entry, that's a lot more difficult question because if you have one bullet, you don't have Jokic and he goes for 90. Well, you lost tonight, like you just said. So it's a much tougher fade in single entry. I still lean I don't know. I haven't built enough to make this definitive decision for single entry yet, but I think I would still lean the high upside guys in the 8 and 9Ks that we've talked about over Jokic today.
Can I raise my hand as the resident single entry player here between you and I?
What do you got?
I have been on record for years saying I will never fade Jokic under 13K. I think today I might. And I don't like, you and I both I have similar views on like blowouts and stuff, and it's very hard in the NBA to like predict a blowout. But I think that it's very plausible that if Jokic goes for 60 and doesn't play the fourth quarter tonight, you don't need him. Because
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's multiple other players that can score you 60 fantasy points tonight, including the guy that's right below him, and Alperen Şengün, going up against Prosper,
Yeah.
Hendricks, and Taj Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about the matchup with Jabari Smith and how big men have smashed. Well, the true big men that's going to smash that team is right there on the screen, Alperen Şengün.
I'm less worried about a blowout. And of course, this is knockout. It's going to be Utah is going to be up 3 late in the game, and Şengün's not going to play a fourth quarter minute. But I'm more confident in Memphis keeping it close than Utah is. Um, so I like Şengün quite a bit, and I've kind of just taken the stand that I'm not playing Jokic. Not that I wouldn't. Like he's in the playbook, he's in the core plays, he's in the right like if you don't feel like it matters if he plays the fourth quarter because he can just get you a 30-point triple double in 3 quarters and that's 75 fantasy points at that point, then sure, like he's obviously live to do it, but he's 12-5. Like you need 70 plus to win a tournament with Jokic tonight. And if he's not playing a fourth quarter minute, I'll take my chances there. We've had some comments here. I want to get to some comments. I saw not Davis Mills. Damn. Okay, not Davis Mills. Thought this was the real Davis Mills. Jalen Williams or Derek Queen tonight. Jalen Williams with a Y, so Big J. J Will. No nicknames. Jalen Williams.
I'll go Queen in that one.
Queen. Happy Friday to you, Demetrius. Hope you have a great weekend, brother. Steve Smith says, for what it's worth, the last time the Joker played, aka Nikola Jokic, played the Jazz, he had a floor game. Murray had 55 fantasy points. Yes, I know the same thing could not happen. That is absolutely not what could, like, yeah.
Yep. I mean, he covered it all.
Yeah. Rowley says Hartenstein is in a smash spot. I don't care about his minutes.
I care a little about his minutes.
I definitely care about the minutes. I definitely also agree that both things. I agree with the first part. I don't agree with the second part.
Right.
Like,
Same.
I do think 24, 25 minutes 26 minutes are very likely. Is that enough to get you on board with Hartenstein? He's a massive ceiling.
Yeah, I think who you said Richards is questionable too, right?
And Yabusele.
Yeah, I mean, if they're really short in the front court, then this becomes more interesting because then he's live for like 20 rebounds in those 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's a minutes thing. I do care about the minutes, but I certainly understand it, like especially if Chicago is down some big men.
Coach Chris said he is fading. I'm assuming this is Jokic. This was definitely right around the time. Steve said Jokic played 36. And then he said, oh, my bad, Murray had 64, not 55. Typo. John Cena said, Homie said he doesn't care. I will say, John, Homie is really good at DFS. So I think he finished second in the $40 single last night. So Homie knows what he's talking about for sure.
Yep.
We obviously the minutes comment we all don't necessarily agree with, but the point of it is that he has a massive ceiling and can just go crazy in the limited time. I think that's the point that Rolly was trying to make.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam or Brandon Ingram? It's a good question.
That is a good question. Oh man, that's a tough one. I think I'm more on the Scotty Barnes side.
Okay.
Is like Scotty's the ceiling play tonight for me. I'm not in love with Siakam. I think either one of them could absolutely smash tonight. I'm not particularly on either one a ton. In that 1v1 though, I'll go Siakam.
I'm much more bullish on both. I'll lean Siakam, but because I'm bullish on Siakam more than he fouled out, got ejected last game. He had one fantasy point in the first quarter and still finished at like 32, 2 rebounds shy of a double double. I'm pretty bullish on Siakam personally. TC said tonight is your night. Could be. I don't know who he's referring to, but could be anyone's night. At this point. Hopefully it's all of your night. DePrince missed the whole show, but he's back. Started. I mean,
Hey, he warned you.
Is that what the comment said, that he was going to miss the whole show?
Something like that.
I swear he said.
He said I'm here, but there was a but for sure.
I'm here, but probably going to miss everything. Okay, got it. Awesome. Hell yeah. Max Strus or Sam Merrill?
Oh man, that's a tough one. They're essentially the same play. I'll lean to Merrill for slightly more minutes.
I agree. What about Fears? We love Fears.
Yes, one of the best plays on the slate.
One of the best plays on the slate. Agreed. 50% Jokic if you're building two lineups. So one with Jokic, one without.
Yep, that sounds perfect.
Love that. I think that's a best approach you could do. If you're building two lineups, build one with Jokic, build one without. Steve is talking nicknames. We don't respond to nickname stuff here. Colin Sexton, love.
Love? No, definitely not love, but I think he's playable.
Peyton Watson or GG Jackson? GG for me.
Yep, same.
I am happy for you, John. Congrats on but you just don't come in here talking crap. Appreciate it. Thank you. Don't be negative. Be positive. Derek White and Siakam or Peyton Pritchard and Jason Tatum?
Close one. I think I lean slightly to the first one.
I would as well. The Prince is laughing. Poker said thanks. And then I'm playing players I normally don't play. Şengün, Durant, and I have some Thompson and Ingram. See y'all next week. Keon Ellis, more minutes without Dean Wade. I mean, Strus is back, so it's probably he plays more, but also Strus and Allen are both playing in this game.
Yeah, I think he's still going to be around like low 20s, I think.
And he's not a great fantasy player at low 20s. He's not. I'd rather take shots on like some of like the really high fantasy point per minute players that are cheaper, honestly, that even are probably going to play less minutes than him just because they do so much more. Like a McConnell or a Toppin, someone like that. Siakam, White, or Şengün, Shepherd, and then we'll finish up center and get a core built. That's a tough.
That's really tough.
Because I almost wish you could get Derek White and Şengün paired there, and I would say that's the perfect pairing.
Those are my two favorite guys in the of the four as well. I think I'm going to go Şengün side. It is really close, but
I am also going Şengün side. I'm just incredibly bullish on Şengün tonight to dominate. All right, let's round out center. I don't have a lot else like in this range after Şengün. Like Bam is obviously playable. We talk Siakam. I think Filipowski's unplayable after the minutes that he saw the last time he played. Allen coming off an injury. We have a Kongwu 69, Gordon 64, Jabari 62. Any of that interest you at all?
Not really. No. I mean, Kongwu just hasn't had the same ceiling. We talked Jabari a little at power forward. He'd probably be my favorite. Hartenstein, we definitely had to call out. I do think he can still smash even in limited minutes. Keita, I think, is a name that definitely jumps out there.
Just be positive, John. Just be positive. That's all. I think Keita is the guy that jumps out to me. He leads this team in fantasy points per minute without JB, Simons, and Vooch. So it's almost 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Does he get extended? Right. That's just
Right.
the Neemias Queta. It's the Joe. It's the Joe Mazzulla
If he plays
stuff.
28 minutes, he smashes.
If he plays 28 minutes, he smashes. I mean, he got 28 fantasy points in 18 minutes against Memphis. Like, just can do it anyway. You would obviously want him to play more. But I think Queta looks great. Is there any value that we haven't talked about that you want to bring to the roundtable discussion here?
Let's see.
Because
Max is
it's all
Maxon's
gross.
Prosper. Sorry, no nicknames. Another one of those Memphis guys that you just don't know if he's going to play enough, but there is some ceiling there if he does. Misi is interesting. I mean, we talked about Queen already, but Misi could be the guy that gets extended here.
Yep.
Just short bodies, so I don't mind him.
Yeah, anytime he's been extended, he's been good. We just don't know when that's going to happen. He probably has to start, right? You would want Misi to start to have interest.
Yes. Yep. But I think that will be the case.
Yeah, unless. Hey, buddy, hold on.
DeAndre Jordan on a back-to-back, really?
Hold
really?
on, buddy. Hold on, buddy. No, we're not playing DeAndre Jordan, even if he starts, right?
No.
No.
Can't do it.
No, can't do it. All right. We'll get to a couple more questions, and then we will get out of here. Walter or Shed, or play both? I would not play both personally, but who would you pick between Jacoby Walter and Jamal Shed here, Keith?
I mean, I assume that Shed gets the start, and that puts
Yes.
him significantly ahead.
Agreed. I think that's for sure the case. Which position, asked the Prince, is the pay down spot today? It's probably guard, right? Because you have Fears,
Yep.
just guard in general. Because you have some Memphis stuff there at guard as well. So I would say just like point shooting guard specifically. You have Shireman. Jock Landale just ruled out. Jared Allen limited to 20 minutes is the recent update, and Aaron Nesmith available to play. Obi Toppin available to play. Jaime Jaquez Jr. available to play. So everyone ruled in.
We've seen Okongwu play like 36 minutes before Jock Landale was a thing. That gives me a little bit more interest in Okongwu.
Yeah, and I mean, right here, to your point, 37 minutes against Orlando. We've seen a ceiling, and obviously middle of the year, which we can't really show
before Landale arrived, he was doing it regularly.
Right. Definitely have some interest in Okongwu. Let's see. Did we get more updates here? I think we got another one. Let's see. I have to refresh my page every time.
It does
Saturday.
That to me sometimes. Like sometimes it'll feed and then other times it won't.
You get the note, you can see the notification, and then you click on it, and it doesn't pop up, right?
Yeah.
It's a Twitter. It's got to be. It's just a Twitter problem, dude. It has to be. Yeah. I swear. Good talk, TC. Appreciate it. Warren's here to talk baseball. Teoscar Hernandez. Keith, you said you talked baseball. One comment on Teoscar Hernandez tonight. Go.
I mean, it's a great spot for the Dodgers.
Great. They look good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can check out Keith's Fantasy Baseball Playbook. Or MLB DFS Playbook on Fantasy Alarm right now. Let's see if I have the graphic. Do I have the graphic? I do. 25% off right now with goes through the weekend opening day sale. You can get all of Keith's great baseball content out now. Did your baseball content have Aaron Judge hitting a 2-run home run? No, I don't think so.
He was not on the slate.
I know. So. I'm just kidding. I more so just wanted to point out that Aaron Judge is awesome. Obi Toppin is in. Yes, sir. He is. Isaiah Jackson, Brooke Lopez, thoughts. And then we'll get a lineup built.
I like a lot of the other guys that we've talked about way more.
Okay.
Jackson's interesting in a blowout. If the Clippers handle business, he gets a little extension. I'd probably play him before I played Brolo, but Brooke Lopez. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
I like Queen a lot more. Is the name that I've got in mind. You've mentioned Toppin. You like? I
Yep.
play Toppin ahead of both of them.
Agreed. All right. I see a Tiger Woods comment. Not going to address that one. And thanks for tuning in. Not Davis Mills. We appreciate you very much and welcome. I hope you stick around. We do this every day of the week, all 5 weekdays. Have a pre-show in the evening, and then once basketball regular season ends, we're going to shift over to baseball live streams as well. All right, let's get a core built here, Keith. I think let's stand on business here. No Jokic. We're gonna do the no. We'll do the no Jokic build since I think more people would be interested in seeing that because it's easy to plug Jokic and like 50% of the field is doing it. Are you okay with Şengün being the guy that we like spend up on?
Yep, I certainly am.
Okay, let's go Şengün. Fears, right? That's it. I think pretty simple plug.
Yep.
We'll go Fears at shooting guard. I don't think it ultimately matters, but Fears at shooting guard. Şengün 8,900. Is there any how about this? Steve is asking this must play of the day, so we'll include that into our lineups here. Your must play, and I'll get my must play as well.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna go Nembhard. I'm gonna go Nembhard as mine.
I thought you were going to go Şengün, so I wasn't going to take your guy there. I love Şengün. To go a little bit more off the board, I think Scotty Barnes is criminally underowned tonight. Like I love the price, I love the upside, love the matchup. I love everything about Scotty Barnes tonight.
Okay, I do too. I think Scotty looks incredible. And again, we mentioned the two guys that have 60 plus upside. Şengün and Barnes are two of the guys in that category. Let's get one more play for this core play. I would say I want a Boston Celtic in here, whether it's Neemias Queta, whether it's Derek White, whether it's Peyton Pritchard, whether it's Tatum. I don't think we can get Tatum comfortably. I do think White or Pritchard are pretty easy to get to, though.
Yeah, I think we can get to White, and then you can. There's other values that we've talked about. Derek Queen, Obi Toppin would make this really easy to finish out. But we can leave it there. I think White's pretty easy in this build.
Boom. Love it. All right. That'll do it for us this weekend or this week. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Again, you can check out Keith's MLB DFS Playbook live now on fantasyalarm.com for a discount at 25% off using code MLB25. You can check out my NBA DFS Playbook on Fantasy Alarm right now. We will be back Sunday night with the preview show for the Monday slate. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Big shout out to Keith as always, and we'll catch you guys later.